and I'm just a journalist, but what I got worried about is looking at spacecraft reentries. Eventually they all come in, and all of us reporters say it burns up, like that's okay. Well, it doesn't burn up. It turns out there's chemistry involved in all these spacecraft with exotic materials that are being used, and it's contributing, in my mind, to stratospheric issues that will have some consequence. I'm not saying it's the end of the world, but I'm just saying that it's one more intrusion, and you're seeing an increasing number of debris coming down from rocket bodies, satellites in other countries. So get out your space debris umbrella. Maybe that's the way to look at it. I don't know, but you get hit by one of these pieces,
you're dead. Yeah. How are you, Leonard?
Jesse, doing good, thanks. Everything's fine. We're up here in the mountains and it's snowing.
Oh, that's nice. It's snowing. Space. How long you've been looking at space, and has it gotten more exciting in recent times?
I've been doing this, at least professionally, writing about space for over 50 years. So I saw Sputnik go. It really kickstarted me. I was an astronomer buff, astronomy kind of kid, because I kept breaking my glasses and making telescopes out of them. And when the first artificial satellite got up there and you could see what was going on, and I just got really locked in early, And to answer your question, I'm more disappointed of how little we may have been doing in the last 50, 60 years. But I understand as I get older, the problems of getting the public behind a space program, that kind of thing.
You worked with Buzz Aldrin. How did he feel about it?
Well, Buzz and I were sort of like-minded. I mean, he's definitely a free thinker, still amazing character in my life. And I was a real honor to work with him on a couple different kind of books. Just a great thinker. They used to call him Dr. Rendezvous. He was one of the early pioneers of how do you rendezvous and dock things in space, which was seminal for the Apollo program.
I want to ask you a question though, Leonard. What is it you were about to say that, the public hasn't been ready, or what have been sort of the challenges in, furthering our curiosity, all of the work that you're doing? I mean, we obviously have a lot of problems at home, okay, and they seem to be getting a lot worse on this planet.
Yeah.
What were some of the barriers, do you think, just in this incredible 50 years that you've been reporting on this?
Well, I think you hit on it. I mean, you always have to go back and look at the public mind, and race riots and Vietnam, and we've gone through all that in my time frame, and how the space program to me was an important element of it. Can be diplomacy around the world to show scientific wherewithal, technological capability, and trying to parse all that out and get the public to understand what all that means in a global context, because the global context is changing. China is taking huge leaps right now in space, and they have their own space station they're putting together. It'll be done by the end of this year if everything goes. They're about ready to launch another crew up next few days from now. And so, as I've gotten older, I probably appreciate more the people that are not on board space exploration. I'm very interested in why they don't see exploration of space as something. It's a drama, an adventure, and boy, there are mysteries at the other end of all this stuff that are going to be solved. It's pretty interesting.
As a citizen of Earth, should we be upset that the Chinese are, going to build a space station?
Not really. I think U.S. military is always worried about, some kind of supremacy in space. But I've gone through this before with the former Soviet Union. I mean, we started that whole space race thing in my lifetime and wound up rendezvous and docking with their hardware. The International Space Station is now beholden somewhat to the Russian side of the picture, and other nations that are working on the International Space Station. So yeah, I've been here before. So my guess is China will take leads in certain areas, and we'll find a way to cooperate in the long term. I think the scientific benefits of cooperating outweigh some of the paranoid aspects of, what are they doing up there?
Well, yeah, I mean, does space belong to any? I mean, we as American, we don't have the right, we don't own space either, right? So how do we think about that? It belongs to everyone or no one, right? I don't even understand what the politics are around that.
Well, a lot of this is anchored in the UN, United Nations 67 Outer Space Treaty. And, depending on what lawyer you're talking to, that needs to be looked at again. Things have changed. The commercial activities that are going on in space with Elon Musk and Bezos and all these companies, I'm sure while we started talking here, 5 more groups got formed to be an entrepreneurial activity in space. So, that was not taken into account early on in the 67 discussion in the UN. So again, depending on what lawyer you want to talk to, and, I got a whole contact list, a lot of lawyers, and everybody has different opinions about, one of the big things that's going on right now is sustainability of space. How do we sustain global activities in space? Now, to me, one problem with that term, the only thing that's being sustained is the people talking about it. I mean, there's no teeth in anything. There's no, regulatory frameworks. There's some
Right.
hazy hand waving things, but I think we're going to have to come to grips with, how we move in and operate within space as a global construct. And, right now, I frankly, I'm not very happy with Russia, China, US. We're playing chessboard games on militarization of outer space or weaponization, use of anti-satellites to knock out somebody else's spacecraft. I just read a story about Elon Musk and the Starlink satellite constellation. I mean, there countries are not happy with that because it's being used for some military purpose or something. And so these are aggravating assaults on global cooperation in space. And I'm very concerned about that particular issue.
Being that we all live on Earth, it's almost a provincial view of what is going to have to come from a framework. Because, if we send a colony out and they're living in a lava tube on Mars, which doesn't sound that appealing to me, but just for some people, I think that's probably pretty exciting.
Cold, it's not hot.
Yeah. But if we do that, won't it require the people who are going to actually go there for them to work on, what this would mean, a new construct, a new legal construct?
Yeah, I think, there are people that are really actually looking at the legal boundaries of a colony on Mars, say, or a lunar base or whatever. The lunar base thing is happening. I mean, right now, as we're talking, NASA is moving out on its Artemis program. And we'll see how it all plays out. But that is a program that's going to give opportunities for astronauts to live and work on the moon, much like NSF Antarctica base. To me, in my mind, it's just a far away place, but I see it go by every once in a while looking out the window up here. The moon is not that far away. Mars is another, that's a big leap of where that's going. But, Elon Musk in a Starship concept, he is big on multi-planet species. How do we extend ourselves out? And, he's got followers. And,
a lot of people think that, we shouldn't go to space because, we have problems down here on Earth. And then you have a lot of people who think that it's the obligation of our species to try and colonize the stars, to perpetuate our species, on and on. Where do you come down on that?
I'm just, my mom, before she died, she always used to tell me about the meek shall inherit the earth, but the brave ones are going to the moon.
Right.
It's not everybody. It's not for everybody. And, getting to Mars, I just finished a story this morning on, where we stand on getting to Mars. And it's a haul. It's going to be the most demanding thing we've ever done in human exploration. But, there will be people signing up for this. And, I love them all. I love everybody that, is pessimistic, optimistic about it. It'll play out. one of the things about Mars is we're going to be surprised coming up about learning more about life on Mars and, what is there and how do we protect that life if we find it. And I think we may have already found it, but we're not quite sure yet.
Are you talking about the things that went up the leg of the spacecraft, before?
Well,
The probe?
Phoenix, that was ice. And, there's definitely Perseverance right now is in Jezero crater. We've got, when you look at the panorama of Mars exploration right now, you've got China, Zhurong rover is running around on Mars. We got InSight, which is a stationary lander. That's about ready to go out because of the dust situation on its panels. And then we have these great robotic rovers, a ton and change, these things are expensive and they're roving around Mars. One's up on Gale crater, going up a mountain. Jezero crater is where we think we're going to find evidence of it, perhaps extinct Martian life, because it was a kind of a water-based crater. And Perseverance, this morning I was looking at new imagery, man, it's moving around. It's got drilling, it's got coring, it's doing stuff. And that does get to this thing about what do the humans bring to Mars versus the robots. There is some symbiotic relationship between the two.
Does that make us an invasive species on some level?
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that we better be careful about bringing samples back from Mars. We're not quite sure what we're going to have in those samples. And NASA has actually just done an environmental impact statement on bringing back samples from Mars. And here we are in the COVID-19
exactly
era. And, there was a lot of comments that came back to NASA saying, God, are you sure we need to do this? Bring it back to Earth.
Right.
What's going on there? So anyway, it's a great discussion. It's been going on for decades. I'm a little bit on the, I always worry about everything. So I'm in the Andromeda strain camp. I'm always thinking that,
right,
this thing's going to escape out of the lab and,
well, that could never happen.
Yeah, right.
That could never happen.
We're with you on
this. You said before, humans have to be careful. It's like, oh yeah, that's something we're real good at.
Yeah, really, that's right.
Oh my goodness. Can I back up for a minute before we get up to Mars and the moon? But we already have a lot of junk. I know you talk to our team about, and you write about this a lot. There's a ton of space debris out there.
Yeah.
And, forget about bringing back some unknown plague or something from another planet.
Yeah.
What are we doing around the debris that falls from foiled missions, from space stations? Where's all that stuff going? And how do we know the environmental impacts of that as well? The stuff that's falling right now.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest issues that I think we're facing. And there are attempts to try to come up with nets and harpoons and lasers and all kinds of ideas to try to, or a magnet, to grab some of this debris. But what I was trying to bring out in the Scientific American article, no one size fits all. There's so much junk up there of leftover, whether it's a toothbrush or paint chips or a camera or leftover rocket bodies or dead satellites. We've got a problem. And this is becoming more exacerbated by the Starlink satellite constellation. Elon is launching these things at a fast pace. I mean, we're talking 50, 60 satellites at a clip that he almost launches every other day to create this, international internet network. And then China wants to do this kind of the same thing. Russia's after somewhat the same goals. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, he's got his own ideas about his own. I mean, we're at a point where the tipping point, we're past the tipping point. And what, in my mind, has to happen and will happen, we're going to get wake-up calls on a regular basis of satellites that got knocked out from collision with other spacecraft. And you're going to get mad because your DirecTV is out. You're going to get mad when you can't put your credit card in a gas pump that uses satellites, even though you're not aware of it. I mean, there's so much that weather, national security assets, if we ever lose a National Reconnaissance satellite up there because of some collision, really there's hell to be paid here. And we're not there yet on tracking and understanding where everything is. We're getting maybe better, but government is trying to define right now who runs the show. They just had a hearing here a few weeks ago on that topic. If we can consolidate all these databases of where satellites are and how close they get and where are they and what's the projection of the next decade, we're in a situation here where it's a classic human thing, man. It's like a sewage dump up there, and we're going to have to get a lot more clever fast, and we're behind.
A lot of those things eventually will fall back to Earth. Eventually, all of it will fall back to Earth. But how do we make sure going forward that we don't create a mess like that? Or can we? Is there any way to because more and more nations are going to be firing stuff off into space. Is there any way to kind of put the genie back in the bottle?
I think it's too late. No, we're in trouble. Now we're in trouble, and let me tell you something bizarre I've been working on for decades as a writer, and I'm just a journalist, but what I got worried about is looking at spacecraft reentries. Eventually they all come in, and all of us reporters, it burns up. Like that's okay. Well, it doesn't burn up. It turns out there's chemistry involved in all these spacecraft with exotic materials that are being used, and it's contributing, in my mind, to stratospheric issues that will have some consequence. I'm not saying it's the end of the world, but I'm just saying that it's one more intrusion. We worry about CFCs and all this going up. I'm worried about what's coming down, and this reentry process where people just lightly say, oh, it burned up. I've done enough research with good people. It does not burn up. There are leftovers, and you're seeing an increasing number of debris coming down from rocket bodies, satellites in other countries. So get out your space debris umbrella. Maybe that's the way to look at it. I don't know. But you get hit by one of these pieces,
you're dead. Yeah.
Well, you're going to be injured.
Yeah. Well, probably dead if you get hit by something from space.
Yeah.
Well, wait, how widely known is that, Leonard? Like, I've never, until we, reached out to you. So what you're saying is no one's listening. I guess it goes back to the first question. You've been writing about this, you've been worried about this, and people aren't really yet focused, because you would think the environmental groups would latch onto this, right, as an important part of the whole story of our eco challenges.
Just on that point alone, just the other day, there's a lot of chat about the International Space Station. Once it's done its thing, whatever year that is, what do we do with it? Do we dump it in the ocean? And there's a specific place in the ocean that has been the dumping ground for spacecraft reentry, to dump them in there. Okay, there it is. And then I actually got in touch with an ocean group. I said, what do you think of this? Is this a good idea? And yeah, this is not something but they haven't been engaged in that particular issue. And so we need much more conversation about using the oceans as a dumping ground for spacecraft, and auguring in the International Space Station, tons of stuff coming in and feeling good about hitting the ocean. And if something goes wrong, that thing's so big, you don't know where those modules are going to go. There are all these, connective modules that break up and skip across the atmosphere, and you don't know where they're going to be coming in. Not that NASA isn't working on a plan and trying to do it to the nth degree, but it's just another intrusion of space that as I get older, I worry about. I love seeing satellites going overhead, but we got issues here that I think are broader than, advocating space for everyone, and we're all going to go up and colonize the world, Mars and the moon and all that. We got some issues. Let's tackle them.
Before we go to Mars, don't we have to get to the moon and safely and bring all the things? Don't we have to test everything up there before we can really even start to think about a further mission?
Well, that's, NASA's Artemis program, the way they've orchestrated it is exactly that. You use the moon as a test bed for the kinds of technology that you would haul off to Mars for a longer trip times. And even the International Space Station has been a real crucible for testing long duration space flight. I mean, they've had, astronauts up there for a year or more, or up to a year. And so it takes 6 months to get out of here from Earth to get to Mars, and then you hang around the planet for maybe 30 days and then come back. It takes another 6 months. So we got to know more about, what the cost of microgravity is on the human body. But you're right. The moon, to me, and this has been a problem with administrations that come in and run NASA, White House decisions. Oh, the moon first. No, Mars first. No, an asteroid. No, Obama, Bush, two of those guys. I've lived through all those changes of direction of NASA. And right now we're in the Artemis program, which is exactly what you said, testing out hardware and setting up some kind of Artemis base. And China and Russia want to do the same thing, by the way, and then moving on to Mars for the long haul. So yeah, you're right. And we got some technological problems, but I tell you, that's one of the benefits of pushing the frontier of technology. A lot of that has, in my mind, multiple spinoffs down here. I mean, habitats are being designed. They're actually being designed for the moon and Mars that are actually being constructed down here on Earth. How do you help people that are disadvantaged or, housing problems? And there are some movement there. There's quite a bit of movement.
Now, when we see images of, spaceships that we have up there, or we see the one that's floating around the Earth, they always look like the inside of a tin can.
Yeah.
Is there some reason we can't design them for what it's like to live, take some of what we live here up there?
Yeah.
Like some of the design features so that it feels like something. Do you see that? That in one way is a piece of innovation that we don't see much of, but is that coming? How we live?
Yeah. Yeah, the main thing to watch there is living off the land. I mean, you take the material that you have available on the moon and Mars, and you can do 3D printing now. You can make structures. You can use the local material to make habitats that are not tin can alley kind of things. I mean, that's a problem. I mean, I look at the space station. It looks like a gym gone bad in there. There's so much stuff hanging on the walls, and it takes a special person to put up with that kind of nonsense. But they're there and they work it, and all the equipment's hanging that you see in the pictures. I mean, it's a clutter, but they got to do it safe, and you have multiple nations working in there. I've always found it fascinating that when you have multiple countries, they have to work together, and there's all kinds of things that they have to communicate to each other with nods and gestures. And it really is interesting when you have like 13, 14, 16 countries engaged: Japan, Europe, Germany, Italy. You have all these countries that are sending up their astronauts to live and work in this place. Bottom line, to answer your question, great new architectural firms are getting involved in NASA competitions to suggest new ways of building structures on the moon and Mars. And you'd like some of them, I'm sure.
It always seems like the food's really bad up there. Like you're just like squeezing some tube of toothpaste and you have to eat it, and it might smell like something. But if you're going to go for a year to Mars, it's got to be better than that. Yeah.
Well, that's changing. Yeah, the toothpaste tube stuff kind of went away. Even one of the early NASA Gemini flights, John Young snuck up a ham sandwich or something. So that's disappearing. There's a lot of new foods and the actual heating devices for different kinds of food. And frankly, on some of these space tourism flights up there, they had a chef make special dinners, for all of them. And let me retrofire back to an interview. I was really happy to do an interview with John Glenn. And he told me, he said, you got to remember, we didn't know if we could swallow up there. He's the first American astronaut. We had Yuri Gagarin, the Russian Soviet pilot that went up ahead of time, but we didn't get much info out of that. And so Glenn's sitting there going, I didn't know if my eyes would focus on the instrument panel. I didn't know if I could swallow. Nobody knew. Anyway, the days of the toothpaste tube dinners are pretty much relaxed now, and they're going for some cuisine that's out of this world.
Wait, wait. Mean the recent one? How long were they up there they could have a chef? I don't even think.
No, they didn't have a chef on board.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
that may be coming.
Oh my God. Okay.
No, a chef prepared their special foods. So that's happening. And and your taste buds change. They were worried about, in microgravity, can you taste anything? I mean, these are all unknown unknowns. And so after decades of human space flight, we kind of hammered this down. I think that even the Russians brought up vodka, so they're doing their thing.
Now, the twins, one of them went into space, the senator from Arizona,
Yeah.
and they found when he came back down that he had density loss in his bones. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you think that means for, the viability of space travel?
Well, we're going to have to wrestle with it. And, there's some pharmaceuticals that have been looked at. There's been always discussion of, 2001 Odyssey, when you go back to artificial gravity, can we create a spaceship that actually promotes artificial gravity so you don't have to worry about microgravity interfering with your not only bone, but, heart issues. And also, well, there's been a bunch of medical issues that they've discovered. And that flight by Kelly and his brother staying on the ground was a seminal piece of work because that was his task. I think we're going to get over that. I think one of the things that I'm confident will happen in the future, we're scared of space in a lot of ways. Radiation, microgravity, you got sea dragons out there, just like we explored the oceans, and we'll figure out how. I just read a paper the other day about a magnetic confinement module that would defray radiation particles hitting the ship. And so I think we're going to get clever. It's going to take a bit of time, but it gets back to the issue of what does the American public or what the global public thinks about the long-term nature of exploration of space with colonization. And these bugaboos have always threatened exploration. And little by little, we carve away at them and we create suits. We have people that went to the mountaintops, polar regions, undersea, astronaut suits. I mean, we deal with the environment that we're in and we conquer it eventually through some kind of technology or breakthroughs.
Are you optimistic that we'll be in, we'll have a colony on Mars? And, if so, how long do you think, everybody thinks it's going to be in the next few years, but I mean, that doesn't seem realistic. It seems like whole fields have to be invented before we can actually go there. So what do you think optimistically it would be to actually explore Mars?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to, I know anything you'd say would be wrong, but it would be, the way the NASA program is going, Elon Musk wants to do it like tomorrow. I mean, he's hot to trot to get to Mars and make a humankind of. And just today, the FAA delayed a decision on whether he can launch out of Texas. And so, he's got his own issues of getting the Starship off the ground to do a test of the system. So, it's hard to project, but I mean, Mars for NASA is in the 2030 timeframes.
If you were given a ticket, would you go?
I'm kind of happy up at 9,000 feet here in the Colorado mountains. I don't know. If it was a bus ride that was, done by a lot of people, I might get on, but I'm not sure I'd be on the first flight.
You don't want to take the Apollo 13 travel to up a circle around the moon?
Yeah, that would be me. I'd hit a switch with my elbow by accident or something. And foul up the whole thing.
I have a question. You've been covering this and writing about this for a very long time. Are the reasons that you wanted to, do this reporting, are they still with you? Do you still have that sense of, I think, kind of what Jesse was asking, but a sense of, excitement, curiosity, or now the reality of the challenges of our human adventures into space and trying to get onto these other planets is, do you still feel like it's something, is it exciting to you? Or is it more like, how are we going to solve these now? How are we going to solve
No,
all these really
it's
big
all of the
crises?
above. It's all of the above. I love it all. I get up every morning and go through hundreds of emails from companies and see the progress that's being made and the aspirations of entrepreneurs and delays. And, NASA's got a problem here and this and that. Now it's all exciting. It's in the adventure of it all, of where we're going to be at the end of the 21st century through space exploration. And every morning I get up and I go to Mars. I look at the rover pictures. For me, the internet has been this amazing tool to go to another world. And when we get back to the moon, you're not going to believe what's going to happen there. The amount of equipment and video capability that's going to be installed on the moon, you'll be on the moon. And, I don't know where the virtual reality hits and things, really mature there, but this is a whole different kind of experience. I'm a kid that at 10 or 11, I was cutting out articles from Life magazine. This is a big jump today to go to Mars in the morning. One of the other things is really fascinating. The machinery is great, but when you talk to the people, I do a lot of interviews, and when you talk to people that worked on these things or are working on them, it really gives you a kind of a hope for humanity kind of feeling in a lot of ways every time I talk to an astronaut that just got back, or the person she's trying to get the wheels to work right on the rover on Mars, and you really get, these people are on an adventure themselves, and you get sucked up into it pretty quick.
Amazing. If people are concerned about like space junk and these issues that we've talked a little bit about today, where could one go to maybe help or participate? Like, is there a forum for people to get involved in this?
Yeah, there's lots of different kind of groups that are engaged in this. For a general reader, I think, space.com, I write for them. They're a good website. Lots of really informative articles. I have my own called Inside Outer Space, and that's a website that I pretty much post things on hourly to daily. In that, you can feel my tension about different topics that I'm worried about. So that's another one. But there are some really good environmentalists that are getting engaged in this space issues. And the European Space Agency has a pretty lively discussion going on about how best to clean up space and try to figure out what do we do here with all this stuff. So it's becoming more and more available to the public. And I encourage everybody that's interested in environmental protection of space to get engaged, because we need help.
We do. Thank you so much, Leonard. It was
Thank you.
really a
This is great,
pleasure.
Leonard. Really appreciate it very much.
We hope you get to enjoy the summer soon up there in the mountains where it's snowing today.
Hey, we're in fire season. I like the snow.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
keep looking up there.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye. Thanks.